it's Nina from VR Focus. I am here in London at Ralph Studio, joined by
Chris Hassell. I'm the founder at Ralph Creative.
So tell me a little bit what Ralph Creative does and what you guys build and how you guys got into virtual reality.
Sure. Well, we have been around for quite a while now. We've been around for about 12 years. And we started life as a digital agency. So we get all of the geeky stuff. But we've just evolved into doing all sorts of things now. And recently, in the past couple of years, we've got into doing live events. And through doing live events, we started working with Sony and a project that's called Lost in Music, which is all about new music experiences. A key Sony tech is PlayStation and then PlayStation VR. And so as part of Lost in Music, we wanted to create a new music VR experience. So they were the steps that got us into VR. And we started off with thinking, what can we do with music in VR that hasn't been done before or would create a new music experience? So we came at it from a Sony brand campaign point of view, and then it was just down to finding the right people to build it and the right skills to build it, because we certainly didn't have them in-house. We're not video game developers, and that was the key thing we wanted to find with the Chainsmokers Paris VR project, was people with video game experience, because essentially we knew our concepts needed a solid engine behind it. So we then went on the hunt for developers that could bring that to life. And that was how we started our partnership with Kuju. We were Googling PlayStation VR developers, and there aren't a lot around. And any that are around are Electronic Arts, or people like, or those developers that work for those publishers. And so they were making games for PlayStation and PlayStation VR. But we found a story about some people that had left Sony's London studio recently. This is a year ago now, but we hunted them down on social media, and we found Brinley, who had joined Kuju. I mean, he loved it, and he worked on that on the launch stuff for the PlayStation VR headset, the VR worlds and that sort of thing. Because they're only around the corner in Old Street, we met up for a coffee, and I talked him through it, and I think he got quite excited by it. I know from a VR dev point of view, there's lots of companies out there who they could build 3D, but then I think it's relatively easy to then take a 3D model and put it into a VR engine. Or, it's more the politics that's the ball ache with getting stuff on PlayStation, not the actual tech so much. So I knew we wanted to get video game experience for this, not people that could build 3D and then put it in a VR engine.
Well, you chose the right guys, right? Because it's done very well.
Yeah, it's done brilliantly well. It's been on the PlayStation Store around the world. I know relative to other experiences, it's had a lot of downloads. It's been received really warmly. There's a lot of reviews that will slag off Chainsmokers, and they're lovely guys, by the way, as an aside. But those boys really know what they're doing, and they were really into the VR experience. They're DJs at the heart of it all, so the kind of remix aspect they were really into. And I remember showing them a preview build, and it kind of clicked with them, and they're like, oh, right, so it's remixing as I'm looking around, and depending on what I'm looking at, and what choices I'm making as we go through the different routes. I was like, yeah, that's what it was always supposed to be. But I think they kind of realised it was more like a video game, and that again comes back to finding Brinley and the gang at Kuju. It feels like a video game. And so the Chainsmokers themselves saw it, and that's when they said, oh, we're going to send you more stems, we're going to send you more remix stems, because we should have more variety in the music. So that was great. But then in terms of people reviewing it, they may slag off the music and they may slag off the Chainsmokers purely because they're not fans of theirs. But there seems to be a lot of appreciation in it being a new music experience, a new way of listening to music in VR, which comes back to what I was saying before. That's what we wanted to achieve, was not just a VR thing with an MP3 playing underneath it. It felt like if you're listening to music in VR, it should really take you to another place and enhance the music listening experience. Otherwise, you may as well just close your eyes and listen to music.
I could see why virtual reality is really expensive to do.
Yeah.
And it makes sense for Sony to use PlayStation VR for an event that helps showcase their technology.
Yeah.
But from a creative branded point of view, it's still too expensive right now.
It's expensive, and to me it's as simple as going, well, if you're so we're a creative agency, and we work with with brands to promote their products, or we work with a lot of entertainment brands like Netflix. You know, we're promoting shows. If you're talking about VR with them, VR is a world that you have to step into. So it's quite a big investment in every way for a brand to create a VR experience, because you're building it from the ground up. And why would they do that? Why, as you say, Sony, it makes sense to create PlayStation VR experiences because it's content to promote their tech and their platform. But for a brand, for a soft drinks company to create an entire VR world, geez, you know what? It's a lot of investment. It's too much. Whereas I think AR, it doesn't create that. It's not the sealed bubble that VR is.
You're not creating a world from the ground up.
No, you're adding. Yeah, and I think that makes perfect sense. You know, when you look at shop window displays having AR features, or we're working with a high street restaurant chain in the UK at the moment to look at AR experiences that would be when you're in the restaurant. And it's similar that we're working on actually to how do you enhance being in a restaurant as opposed to dragging kids away from their parents and putting them in a VR world or anything like that. I know I can't comment on Black Mirror. We work on Black Mirror. I was going to comment on the new season then. I can't possibly comment on it.
So are you doing any other experiences that are VR or MR or
AR? There's a big show, well, a show that was big a few years ago that's about a chemistry teacher that may turn bad in some ways. I can't possibly say which show it is, but it's set in Albuquerque. We did some great work for that a few years ago that was almost, it was world expanding stuff, in that we did online episodes and interactive, personalised experiences with the lead character. And so we're looking at actually potentially reusing some of that footage in a more modern 360-degree way. So we're playing with that at the moment.
Fantastic. Well, is there a website that our audience can go to find out more about what you guys are doing?
Yeah, if you go to ralphandco.com or follow us at Ralph Creative on Twitter. We are awful at our own social media, but we're great at client social media, but there should be updates every so often from us, and hopefully it's all quite entertaining stuff.
Well, thank you so much. Head over to vrfocus.com if you want to find out more about virtual reality or new interactive experiences, and I will see you there.